The elevator doors opened with a muted chime, and an almost invisible wave of tension rolled through the glass-walled boardroom. Conversations died mid-sentence. Chairs scraped softly as executives straightened their backs, smoothed their tailored jackets, and fixed professional smiles onto their faces. The air itself seemed to sharpen as Marissa Thornwell stepped inside, her red blazer crisp, her posture commanding, her presence practiced to signal control. She walked like someone accustomed to rooms bending to her will. A step behind her came a man who did not match the polished rhythm of the space. He moved calmly, unhurried, as if time had never once chased him. His hair was silver, his face lined not with stress but with experience. His eyes held warmth rather than ambition. Horace Benton wore a simple jacket, well kept but modest, and shoes that had clearly been chosen for comfort rather than impression. In a room obsessed with image, he looked almost out of place. When Marissa turned, she offered him a brief nod and said his name without warmth. Horace responded by extending his hand, his smile gentle and sincere. For a moment, the gesture hung in the air, quiet and hopeful. Marissa glanced at his hand, then at his face, and something unreadable crossed her expression. Instead of accepting it, she folded her arms and let out a light, dismissive laugh, as if the gesture itself were naive. A few nervous chuckles rippled through the room, forced and uncertain. Some executives stared down at their tablets. Others shifted uncomfortably, wishing they were anywhere else. Horace slowly lowered his hand. His smile faltered just slightly, but it did not disappear. Still, something unseen cracked in that moment. The room felt colder, heavier, as though everyone had just witnessed a wrong they could not undo. No one there knew the full story of Horace Benton. They did not know about the decades he had spent quietly investing in struggling neighborhoods, funding schools that would have closed, believing in entrepreneurs no one else would back. He never chased recognition. He never cared for expensive suits or dramatic entrances. To him, substance always mattered more than appearance. Marissa Thornwell, on the other hand, had built her empire through relentless drive. She had clawed Thornwell Analytics out of nothing, surviving cutthroat competition and endless sleepless nights. In her world, power was proven through dominance, sharp edges, and never appearing vulnerable. Respect, she believed, was demanded, not earned. So when she saw Horace, she saw only what she valued least: simplicity. The meeting moved on, numbers flashing across large screens, voices discussing projections and growth. Marissa spoke with confidence, but beneath her steady tone, cracks were already forming. By midday, the first blow landed. Her largest client withdrew without warning. The room tightened. Faces paled. Marissa masked her reaction, assuring everyone it was manageable. It wasn't. By afternoon, stock values dipped. Emails from investors grew tense. The same executives who once praised her decisiveness now exchanged worried glances when she turned away. Thornwell Analytics, the company she had built brick by brick, was bleeding. Still, Marissa refused to acknowledge the depth of the damage. Pride wrapped around her like armor. That night, alone in her penthouse office, she stared out at the city lights glittering below. The glass reflected a powerful woman, sharp and composed. But inside, her heart thudded with fear she could no longer ignore. Against her will, her mind replayed the morning scene, the outstretched hand, the quiet dignity in Horace's eyes. Guilt crept in, unwelcome and persistent. She pushed it away. She had done everything herself. She didn't need anyone. The next morning shattered that illusion. Another major client left. Investors demanded explanations she couldn't provide. During a board meeting thick with silence, a senior manager finally spoke the truth no one else dared to voice. They needed Horace Benton, not just his money, but his insight, his reputation for rebuilding companies with patience and wisdom. The realization struck Marissa like a physical blow. Her arrogance hadn't just cost her an opportunity, it had stripped her of dignity. Her hands trembled as she instructed her assistant to find Horace. The room watched in stunned quiet as she swallowed her pride, something she had never done before. All afternoon, she rehearsed apologies in her mind. Each one felt like it chipped away at the identity she had spent years constructing. By evening, she found herself standing outside a small community art center. No marble floors, no glass walls. Inside, children laughed while painting. Elderly neighbors chatted under warm lights. The atmosphere felt gentle, alive in a way she hadn't experienced in years. She spotted Horace near the back, calmly arranging donated art supplies, completely unbothered by the weight of the corporate world waiting for his decisions. The sight unsettled her. This man, whom she had dismissed so easily, was grounded in something she had lost. She approached slowly, words stuck in her throat as pride battled desperation. Finally, she spoke. She apologized. She explained. She acknowledged her behavior without excuses. She braced herself for anger or rejection. Horace listened quietly. When he spoke, his voice held no bitterness. He told her that respect had nothing to do with status or wealth, and everything to do with how we treat others when no one is watching. His understanding humbled her, not in a way that diminished her, but in a way that freed her. Over the following weeks, Horace agreed to guide her company. Not because she begged, but because he believed in second chances. He met with her team, challenged her assumptions, and modeled leadership rooted in empathy rather than fear. Slowly, stability returned. Clients regained trust. Employees felt seen. Marissa changed too. She listened more. She learned. She let go of the armor she no longer needed. Standing before her team months later, she realized the greatest investment Horace had made was not financial. It was believing in her when she didn't deserve it. And in that realization, she finally understood that true strength lies not in standing above others, but in choosing grace over pride.